Now, this is a hard one. This is a bit of controversy behind this one. We have got The Lion King. This is the remake of the 1994 animated classic. This one is directed by Jon Favreau, the same director that did the live-action Jungle Book. It stars a hell of a lot of people. We have Childish Gambino, Beyonce, James Earl Jones, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Michael Keegan-Key, John Oliver, Seth Rogen, Billy Eichner. I could go on. This cast is huge. And it is the same story as the original. I'm not going to talk about that story because you guys know that, it's a classic. You know the story of The Lion King. Now, we have a lot to discuss with this one because it is, splitting some hairs with a lot of critics, a lot of audiences, and I'm loving it because any conversation is a fun conversation. And I'm going to start off with some positives. The visuals in this movie are stunning. The CG, the visuals, the aesthetic of this film is beautiful. It looks phenomenal. It looks almost real at pretty much throughout the movie. It just looks really, really, really good. And it is still the same great story we know and love. It tells it again, and that's a problem itself, but we'll get into that. It's telling it again, and it still hits the same notes. It hits the emotional moments where it needs to, hits the funny moments. It's still very funny. Uses a lot of the same lines, but it is still very funny. It tells that story that, is so well known. And one thing I really want to point out is Timon and Pumbaa still the fucking show. They do. Seth Rogen, Billy Eichner did a great job. I know the lines were already written, but they did a great job nonetheless. Now, I'm going to get into some negatives or things I wanted to improve upon or change, and it's going to make the review sound a bit more negative than I want it to because it's not a negative review. This movie was enjoyable. I had a good time watching this movie, but it is the same movie that we saw in 1994. It's basically a shot-for-shot remake. They say a lot of the same lines, and it just doesn't feel like it delivers on the same level. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Ace, you love the Jungle Book, you liked Aladdin a lot, you love Beauty and the Beast, why are you not, what's the difference here? Well, I think the biggest thing is the animals. It's hard because animals are not humans. That's the biggest difference, I feel like, in most of these films, is you're changing animated to live action to real humans, and I think that's a huge step up because you get better depth in your performances, you get real people that people can go, oh, I want to be Belle, or I want to be Aladdin because of these people, and that's great. Lion King does not have human characters, so it's a very hard thing to capture, as well as they just went very, very safe with it. And I understand you kind of have to go safe because if you try to change too much, people are going to get mad. But you went very, very safe. I feel like this is the closest to a shot-to-shot remake that the Disney kind of remakes have come. They didn't really feel like they added any extra scenes. I feel like they lengthened a lot of. They didn't really change any lines or storylines or arcs or anything like that. And it kind of fell flat in that sense. Now, that's such a hard thing to do. And I understand that because even the Jungle Book, they had Mowgli. They had Mowgli in there, be like, I'm the human, I'm the main character, you're following me, and these animals are side characters and they're side pieces, and it looked phenomenal and it worked really well. This one is basically all animals, and that was such a hard thing to deliver, and I don't think it did just because it's almost the same. You're just watching a better quality something. Whereas before, with these live action ones, you're humans, you're changing them, whatever. This is very, very close to live, to almost just an animated remake because it is CGI, which sucks. But that's kind of where it just didn't feel like it had as much depth because we're just seeing the same thing because it didn't get added with that live action aspect. Now, the performances themselves on paper look good. You're going to go, alright, these actors are awesome. But it just felt like they lacked kind of heart and emotion at points. It just kind of felt flat with these performances. I didn't really walk out besides Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen going, wow, they killed it. Or, oh, that was great. Nothing really went that way. And that sucks because these are great characters. Simba, Mufasa is the same cunt, so you can't complain. But Simba didn't really feel it. Scar, I felt because of what he was doing, but I don't think there was much emotion with Chiwetel Ejiofor. It was such a hard one to talk about because the movie is enjoyable, but it's so damn close to the original. It's hard to kind of be like, alright, but what makes this special? And that's the thing. Nothing really makes this special. It just felt like the whole movie lacked heart, lacked depth, lacked emotion. And that sucks because they put a lot of effort into this beautiful CG and this beautiful visuals to come up flat with the rest of it. And again, it sucks because I had a great time with this movie. I was really enjoying it. But when you really, kind of think about it, look into it, you rewatch the original Lion King, they just feel like there's no point of rewatching this movie because it's just a poorer done version of the original. And again, we can get into, well, you know, you like the other live action ones. And I really like the Aladdin, and fuck anyone that doesn't. But it just feels because they're human and they're real. That's the live action. I feel like that's enough to be like, that warrants its own movie. You're going to get different visuals there. Whereas this one, it's kind of the same. And that sucks because I rewatched the original, the remake of The Jungle Book the other night, and I loved it. I plan to buy and rewatch the Aladdin movie. I've rewatched Beauty and the Beast. I just don't see myself running to rewatch this Lion King because I've got a better version sitting there because it's so damn similar. And I know it sounds like I'm repeating myself, but it is. It really is. And I've got a full video if you want to check that out on my full-blown thoughts on the Disney live action remake. I can put that in the description. This movie was fun though. It really was. It was a good time. It was, it was beautiful. It was funny. But it's the same funny we've seen before. It's the same beautiful we've seen before. It's the same, story we've seen before with nothing real enough or new enough to make me really excited about it. So I'm going to give Lion King a B-. Thank you guys for watching my review of The Lion King. Had a few, filming kind of clashes with my schedule. Trying to get this one out a few days earlier, but got it out today, so go make sure you do check it out. I'm not sure if I'm seeing a new review. Got a new review coming out this week, or we're going to wait till the next week, but I'll have something out for you guys nonetheless, maybe a Blu-ray video. I know I've got a double up month to do of my Blu-ray update for June and July, so that's going to come out very, very soon anyway. But that is it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you comment if you want to talk about it. Let me know what you thought of the film. Press that like button if you never seen me before. Press that subscribe button. But of course, guys, have a good one.